Hey everyone, this is KaelKast. Just to mention that I have a new Facebook page and a new Google page, so be sure to follow me on those. I think you follow them or like them. I don't know, but anyways, just do your thing on do skit on the Facebook page, on the Google page, and also if you want to be a guest on the show or comment on something or just email me something. My email's below in the description along with the Facebook page and the Google page. So that's that. And so my guest on this episode is Amy Coello. She's really great. We were talking about dream interpretations, and it was really interesting because she tried to read my dream. Yeah, and you should check that out. I think it's like in the middle of the thing, and I tried to ask her about it. And there's like some dreams that were really like connecting to some really sad stuff. I think like recent events, like some dreams were connected to the Dallas shooting, the Orlando shooting, and that's a very deep conversation we had on that part. And so it was really cool, very informative actually about dreams and how important they are. And I hope you learn on this episode, you know, very important dreams, and your dreams might be important. So you can check out her website. Um, yeah, she's gonna say the website. I forgot the website. I'm sorry, Amy. But anyways, this is me and Amy Coello talking about dreams. I hope you enjoyed it. It's KaelKast. Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm fine. And could you tell me about your dream interpretation? It's a very interesting and new thing for me.
Well, there's so much to tell about it, so I'll kind of give you a little background. So I knew I was a dreamer when I was really young, when I was a little girl, and I had these dreams, and I knew they meant something. I had just had an inner knowing that they meant something, but I didn't really know how to unveil the message. And so didn't really think much about it until probably 2002. And 2002 had a dream after my daughter had passed away, and it was a very telling dream. And I realized that there's this great big God or creator or divine light or however you want to name something that's just bigger than you and a force that's outside of you. And I knew that this divine light was communicating with me. And so I sought out to learn this veiled parabolic language. And when I did, I realized that I saw some patterns, and I started to see some patterns with symbols, that symbols meant certain things. And then I began to just study symbols and study an understanding of this, parabolic language. And as I did, I realized I was gifted at it and could help others decipher what their creator was saying to them. Divine guidance, divine strategy, divine wisdom, divine warnings of such. And I've traveled the world, 13 different countries, and I've lived out of the country for 3 times. And all of these different cultures, believe the same thing. And I see it across the board, through 10,000s of dreams that I've interpreted. I've seen that there is something greater outside of the person that is trying to communicate with them.
So you're talking about like a great being, like higher than us. Is this really a spiritual thing, or is this like a meditation thing? Could you like give us an idea?
Sure. So we are the only culture, traveling through the world and realizing that in every religion and every culture out there believes that their dreams are from an outside force, something divine. And we are the only culture, us and the British culture, are the only culture that believes that. It wiped away when Constantine came in. He wiped away our Hebraic understanding and instilled more of a Greek linear mindset. And so when that happened, our parabolic understanding kind of vanished, and we out of that arose a psychological understanding of dream interpretation. And many of you know the Freudian and Jungian theory that I have studied for many years also, and studying the different cultures and the different ways that the different cultures and religions believe about dream interpretation. I do believe and have statistical proof, I guess you would say, that dreams are more spiritual and they are not psychological. Psychological says that it's just the mind and the soul, whereas spiritual says it's the heart, spirit, soul, body. It is all of those things encompassed. And the psychological understanding says that dreams come from within and that the answer really is within. Well, if that were true and the answer was in there already, you wouldn't be in your crappy situations that you find yourself in. Whereas a spiritual understanding of dream interpretation means that I am in a crappy situation and I need divine wisdom on how to get out of it.
Continue. Sorry.
And therein lies the difference between spiritual and psychological dream interpretation.
Yeah, and you said like helping people, and you said about like in crappy situations, how do you need to find wisdom? You're a dream interpreter. How do you help these people?
Well, we have a website called eyes2see.org. Eyes, the number 2, and the letter C.org. We launched that April 12th, and it's a dream journal. And so it houses all of your spiritual experiences. So if you have a spiritual experience, maybe not a dream or a vision, but maybe you just had, you woke up and in your room there was either a shadowy person or there was an angel in the corner or a light or of some sort, just something out of the ordinary. Or maybe you have a knowing, or just something like something's bigger is talking to you, and you hear something in your spirit, maybe. So we have a journal that keeps all of that logged there, and we have talked to data scientists and data analysts, and we are creating algorithms behind that website. As you input your dreams, you can submit it to our dream interpretation group. We have been together for many years. We run a site on Facebook. It's a closed private site with 43,000 members. That's 43,000 members. So they come from all kinds of different walks of life, different religions, different beliefs, different backgrounds. We have Africans, we have witches, New Agers, Christians, we have Muslims. We have tons of people coming together to put their dreams on this Facebook site. And the Facebook site is Prophetic Dreams, Symbols, and Interpretation. It is a closed private group with over 43,000 members. And what is that saying? It's saying that people are dreaming, and the phenomenon that happens when people say, hey, I want to know what this means. So we have a team who has studied for many, many years on spiritual dream interpretation, and we help guide people through their dreams. And I'll tell you this, the healthier you get, most people start out with having very dark dreams, very scary, dark dreams. And as you work through those dreams, and the healthier you become mind, body, and soul, your fractured soul starts to become healed. And when that happens, your dreams become lighter, they become more intuitive, they become more, everything is about fixing your character, right, and your integrity. And then as you fix that fractured soul, and you walk through some character training and maybe some integrity issues, then what happens is you begin to have what we call prophetic dreams, meaning you're having dreams extrinsically and not intrinsically. Intrinsic means they're about you. Extrinsic means they're about your community, your family, your church, your nation, your state. It means that you're having dreams that are about things that are happening. And that's why we created eyes2see.org, because we believe that if we believe this divine being, this God, your creator, your divine light, is talking to you individually, then what must this divine light be saying to us collectively as a body or as a people or a community? And so we think that we will be able to find warnings before shootings happen. We had someone on our board, on our website, who had a dream that about the Dallas shooting probably a week before it happened. We also had people dreaming about the Orlando shooting before it happened. We also had tons of people, thousands, dreaming about 9/11 before it had happened. And we had a few people dream about Justice Scalia, who died, before it happened. So we're starting to see that we're micro-proving our theory. But that's why we do it. It's a research project, and we're hoping to, by doing these radio shows, that we can get the younger generation to champion our cause, with us, and we'll put their dreams in so that we can do some data behind it. They're all private. Everyone's dreams are private. No, we get no names or anything like that. It's just metadata that we see on the other side. So everything's private, and we just find spikes and patterns in dreams, like the Dallas shooting. If that had happened, how many people dreamed about it before it happened. And then hopefully when we find those spikes and patterns and data, then we can, we can use it as probably, maybe, hopefully, governmental intelligence.
Could you, you said about the Dallas shooting, could you give me how did they dream about it, like the Dallas shooting? That's a very interesting dream to have. And
Yeah.
it happened.
So here, let me try to see if I can pull it up. I think it's on our eyes2see.org Facebook site.
Yeah.
But let me pull it up, because I did. It was posted on there.
Yeah.
Also. So a lady named Gail had a dream, and let's see if I can find it here. Yeah. When I awoke this morning of July 8th, 2016, I turned on the TV and saw the news about the police shooting in Dallas. I fell to my knees. I was speechless. A week earlier, I had a dream. I dreamt I was in town. I dreamt I was in a town, and I heard gunshots and heard people yelling, "Why they are shooting the police? They are shooting the police." People were running everywhere and screaming, "Cowboy is shooting! A cowboy is shooting!" I wrote the dream down. While it was still fresh in my mind. I never thought about a dream that could foresee a tragedy. If only I could have prevented this. But God chose me to have this dream. I don't know why He would choose me to show me this dream, but I am now a believer that God does show us in our dreams what we need to know. We need to trust in what we dream. Gail. And so she had that dream previously, and before before the Dallas shooting. And so, cowboy would represent Dallas Cowboys, and so our job is to intuitively be able to interpret those dreams. And so our system looks for things like guns, bombs, terrorist, Obama, prime minister, different, Arab, Muslim, American, we look for those, what we call hot words. And we look for spikes and patterns. And then when we find those things, we have a team that goes in and looks at them and sees, if it possibly fits. If several people are having these dreams, then we'll find a spike or pattern to it. And then hopefully one day our statistics and our esoteric information, we can, this younger generation coming up, that if we can reach out to them and say, "Hey guys, you're dreaming and they mean something." I'll tell you this, my 12-year-old daughter just came in this morning, and she had two of the same dream. She had the exact same dream 2 nights in a row. And we listened very intently to her dreams. We've got 9 children, and 7 are still at home. But I'll tell you, this 12-year-old, she dreams very prophetically. And so we always pay attention to her dreams. And what we want to tell, I'm trying to raise her up in a way of going, hey, you have very important dreams that need to be heard. Now, if Gail had had this dream about a Dallas shooting and just called the police, or FBI, and said, hey, I had a dream that there was a shooting in Dallas, what do you think would have happened? Well, the FBI would have probably profiled her and hung up on her, right? Because there was you'd be deemed crazy. But what if we had a website with analytics and statistics of thousands of people putting their dreams in? And now we've got esoteric information that we can submit to the government and say, hey, listen, 123 people had this dream. You might want to look into it. And when those things come, when those things come to pass, or those things don't come to pass because they took action on it, we believe that we have divine intelligence.
And like you said, like if Gail told the FBI or the police, they would have hung up on her. Why do people think, oh, it's just a dream, it's just a coincidence? Why do people have that mind? It's so important.
Because I think nobody has ever nobody has ever shown them a dream rightly interpreted. And that's our mission. I know that for Eyes to See, that is our mission. I speak on behalf of Eyes to See and our board, and I say, I can say that is our goal. That's our mission. We are setting out to say, hey, we have interpreted tens of thousands of dreams as a team, and we can prove statistically that God speaks to us in our dreams. And when I didn't know it, I maybe thought it, and maybe when I was younger, I thought, oh, that sounds, that sounds like, maybe I would have tried to figure it out. But you know what? By lunch, I was chasing other shiny, bright things, right? So I just didn't take the time. And I think once someone experiences a dream rightly interpreted, it is so mesmerizing and it is so divinely awakening that when they realize that here this great big God of this universe is speaking and cares individually about what is going on in their lives, I think that they would start seeking that out, at least keeping a journal and maybe, submitting it for dream interpretation or seeking out and learning like I did. I spent years and years and years learning everything I could about every religion and every culture, from New Age to African to the way, different cultures believe and what they, even the psychologists believe about dream interpretation until I found patterns that fit and were eye-opening. They were awakening. I see people every day when I go stand on stage and I pull people out of the audience and say, hey, do you have a dream? And let's work it out in front of everybody. I have a show called Journey into Your Dreams. It's on kingdomflame.com. You can subscribe to the show. And what I do is I just pull people out of the audience. I said, hey, does anyone here have a dream? They raise their hand. They come up. They tell me the dream and I interpret it live. And you'll see every single time how God is speaking and guiding them or warning them.
I have a very that's a thing. Like I'm just questioning, asking myself about do different dreams have does it say about the person? Like if they're dreaming of bunnies, is there a personality thing in there?
Yeah, well, there are personalities, and each dream is every dream symbols. One of the biggest questions I get, people will ask me, what does the symbol mean? Well, I can't tell you what the symbol means because the symbol means something different in the context of the dream. So it's like this. It would be like me trying to pull a scripture out of the Bible and saying, well, this is what it means. Well, no, it doesn't mean that. It means that one scripture means within the context of the 5 scriptures above it and the 5 scriptures below it, right? You can't that's the problem with doctrine. People take out one scripture and they want to say, this is what it means. Well, you can't do that with dream symbols either. And so a dream symbol, the psychological understanding says that everything in the dream is a reflection of your heart. Well, that's not true. And we can prove it. But there are aspects in a dream symbol that does show your personality, like bunnies. I do know that when we dream of animals, one of the first things we look at is how does that animal reflect your character. You know, bunnies can also represent multiplying. And a lot of times you look at the symbol and you think, well, what does that symbol represent in this dream? What is it saying in this dream? And it could mean that you are smart, funny, and bouncy, or it could mean that there's multiplication going on in your life, that things are being multiplied quickly.
And could I give you like an example? Because I have a dream that I really want to interpret to. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
when I was like really young, I'm still a teenager, but when I was like a kid, I had a dream. I was sleeping. I was on my bed. My eyes were open, but like on real life, it wasn't. Like on my dream, my eyes were open, and I looked to the left. There was a mirror on the left, and there's this a man on shadow. Like he was just like he wasn't like standing. He was just on the mirror, on the other side of the mirror, and he was dark. It was like in a shadow, and he was doing the middle finger to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, well, so in the dream, let me repeat it back to you. So in the dream, you were awake on your bed, but you were still in the dream.
Yeah, and I couldn't move. I don't know why.
Right. It's called sleep paralysis. And
Okay.
it's very common with what we call dark dreams. And dark dreams come to instill fear. And so there's only two emotions in the world, and everything is built off of those two emotions, it's love and fear. And so we look at the fruit of the dream, and fear dreams come to instill, stop, destroy, put obstacles in the way, and they come to seed your emotions so that you cannot progress. Whereas love comes to remove those blocks and to help you progress and to give you the encouragement to progress. And so in this dream, you were laying on your bed awake, and that speaks of probably, and I'm sure that this is true. You had an awakening at a young age, and you're very aware, and it speaks to your gift set. So your gift set really speaks of an awakening, an awareness of things that are unusual at your age. And when you look to your left, right, you look to your left and
Yes,
saw a
yes.
mirror. Well, left represents things in the natural, whereas right represents things in the spiritual. And so when you look to your left, there was a shadow figure, which is very common in dark dreams, especially for young people. And it represents and them kind of putting his middle finger up to you is
Yeah, I don't know what.
basically, yeah,
I was 5.
yeah. Well, it's basically it is a hindrance, and that there is a demonic, what we call a demonic or a dark force
Oh dear.
that has come to bring an obstacle, and doesn't care what you think, it's going to come to block you from that awakening. And so the dream really has to. And so if I were given this dream on stage, I would say to the dreamer, the dream is really called to an intercession dream, and intercession basically means to pray through it and say, to meditate on the truth. The truth is that you are someone of enlightenment. You are someone of light, and there's an awakening that happened to you at an early age, which represents probably a big call that will impact a lot of people, and as you grow, and that there is what we would call a dark assignment to destroy that call and to bring obstacles. And the fact that you saw it brings you courage and the ability to recognize that it's just a shadowy figure sticking its finger up, right?
I was 5, and after when I woke up, I prayed the whole hour. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It was just terrible.
Yes. Well, I mean, and I will tell you, for you to have that dream at 5, there is probably a very strong call on your life, and
Mhm.
um, a call to impact many people. And what we have found are people who have very strong calls on their life. Me also, when we impact a lot of people, young, we find that young people will start having very, very dark dreams to come to bring diversion, a hopelessness, and a give up, and like a what we call the give up effect.
I have a question also. Is like daydreaming still the same as dreaming, or is there like do they have different things on their side?
Well, dreaming is what happens at night when you are asleep, and daydreaming is a form of dreaming, but you are awake, almost like a vision. And daydreaming comes to bring. I like to tell people like this. You know how well you don't drive yet, but when you're, when you leave school and you're like somebody said something stupid to you, and you're like, I call it the woulda said, coulda said, needed to say. I wish I would have said, I could have said, and then you find that you're rehearsing the conversation, right? You're rehearsing what you would have said, could have said, and should have said, and or you're about to go into maybe to do a debate or a speech or something, and you're rehearsing it in your mind, and you see yourself on stage, and it's a form of visualization that was actually given to us by God, and used rightly, it comes to bring faith. It builds your faith. Now, we have to be careful, and we always have to take our thoughts captive, right? And so anytime that we get into the would have said, could have said, should have said, and we start going into a negative thought pattern, that is anything outside of peace, love, joy, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, anything outside of that opens you up for every, demonic thing, every dark thing. And so we have to take our minds captive, really. And we've got to shut it down and use your daydreaming for what it was given to you for, which is to encourage you and to bring you courage to step up into the next thing. I'll tell you, as a public speaker, we were taught, to, all night before you speak, you see yourself speaking, you see the audience reacting, you visualize what happens afterwards and the impact that you're going to make, and you start to visualize yourself on stage, and that's how we get rid of stage fright and stuff. And then when you wake up, you lay in bed and you just visualize, and you visualize the outcome that you want, right? And that's faith. It's believing it is before it ever happens. And then you begin to manifest the positive instead of dwelling on the, oh my God, what if I mess up? Oh my God, what if I don't remember my words? Oh my God, what if people walk out? Well, what you focus on, you make room for. So that's actually what will happen. Probably not to the extent that you thought it was going to happen, but little by little, you will manifest the things that are in your heart. And so daydreaming really is given to you as a modality to increase your faith and to bring courage to the things that you're called to that scare you and that are outside of you, your natural, life, right?
Yeah, I completely I get what you're saying, and I completely agree. And to end the interview, how can people reach out to you and to your team?
Well, we would love, 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 and we are about to set out on traveling across the United States, and we are going to be speaking to groups. And one of the things that we want to do is speak to youth groups, because we want to capture the hearts of this younger generation. And so we are asking youth to log in and sign up for a free account at eyes2see.org. That's eyes, the number 2, the letter C.org. Sign up for your free journal. Keep all your spiritual experiences in there. The more that the people will tell me all the time, oh, Amy, I don't dream, or oh, Amy, that's never happened to me. But I promise you that when you start recording the little dreams that you do have, even if they're just snippets, even like today I woke up and I just thought to myself, I remember that I was talking to 2 twins, one named Linda and one named Lisa. I don't remember anything else about the dream. So what did I do? I go in there and I put just that snippet in there, because as you do that, your dream life will begin to open up to you. The more you sow into your dreams, your spiritual side of yourself, the more the spiritual side will open up to you. So go in, log into eyes2see.org, create a free account. If you ever need for us to interpret a dream, there's a submit dream button there. And join us on prophetic dreams, symbols, and interpretation. And you definitely have to go show me some love at Amy Coello on my public page. Amy Coello, that's Coello. And keep in touch with us, because we've got webinars coming out. We have Facebook Live teaching on dream interpretation. So if you are interested in dream interpretation, come to our eyes2see.org Facebook and our Amy Coello, and there you will find us.
Okay, thank you so much, Amy. You've been so great.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and that's the end of the show. This is Mikael, and this is KaelKast. Thank you for listening.